Hey YouTube! So I am here on time, oh my gosh, to record the review for the Haves and the Have-Nots, Season 4, Episode 13, titled My Grandson's War. So, as the title states, there is a war that is about to occur, all due to poor little Quincy. Rest in peace, little Quincy. And this episode was definitely a build-up to that war. I can definitely say that I thought last week's episode was emotional. This week, Tyler Perry is trying to make thugs cry. Like, in my mind, I'm like low-key like a thug, but I'm really not. But I almost shed a tear. So, whatever. I'll get into it. So, let's just start. So, this week's episode started off where it left off, where we have we have Jeffrey and Veronica at the hospital in the waiting room, and Catherine walks up. So, of course, they ask, like, what are you doing here? This is what Catherine asked Veronica. So Veronica doesn't want to go into a lot of detail as to what happened with Melissa. So she's like, Melissa, she just had a little accident. And then Catherine is like, who is Melissa? And she's like, oh, Jeffrey's fiance. We want to make sure the baby's okay because she's pregnant. And Catherine is like, well, hold on. Fiance? Melissa? A baby? And so Veronica is like, yeah, you heard me right. And she's like, oh my gosh, this does not make any sense. Like, you really are crazy. So anyways, Catherine says she's at the hospital to check on Hannah. And so she's like, oh yeah, I forgot, you buy your friends. And she was like, well, look at the pot calling the kettle black, because your son, who is gay, has a woman that's a fiance and a baby on the way. I'm sure that costs a lot of money right there. So, of course, they always have endless shade with each other. So, whatever the case, there, Jeffrey finally chimes in and he's like, what happened to Hannah's grandson? Are you referring to Candace's son? And she's like, yes. And then she said he was shot and he died. And she's like, what? Jeffrey is like out of it. He's like, does Candace know? And then she's like, Catherine is like, shoot, like I'm supposed to know, okay? You know that I refer to her as number 9, okay? I love her mother, not her. So Jeffrey is like, oh my gosh. Of course, Veronica is showing no remorse. Like, she just wants to make sure her grandbaby is okay. And so Jeffrey is like, I need to call Candace. Veronica is like, you will not? And he was like, yes, I will. And she's like, you have too many other things going on right now. You are not calling her. He was like, you know what? Shut it. I'm calling her. So every now and then we see like Jeffrey gets a little snippy with his mama. So of course, Catherine takes this opportunity to say, hey, Veronica, don't push him, because you know what happened last time you pushed him, okay? You got stabbed in your implants, so calm down. So next thing you know, he decides to go, to get on his phone to start calling Candace. Candace is not picking up the phone, which is what always happens. Like, girl, like, if you notice, people never just call Candace just to, like talk. Like, let's chat, let's catch up. No. Every single time people are calling Candace, especially if it's Benny, if it's Jeffrey, if it's her mother, whoever, if it's Erica, it is to like inform her about something. So you need to start picking up your phone, okay? So whatever the case, they're about to walk away to go find Hannah and check on her, but then they see Wyatt being rolled into the hospital. So we know that he's being rolled in by his rehab specialist. He's like really out of it. He's holding his head and he is just like, he can't even think straight. He's just in so much pain and he wants it to go away. I'm sure he's shocked to see his mom, but his mom is like freaking out at this point and what is going on. Veronica follows them because she's Miss Nosetta. And the lady that is like his rehab specialist, she's really not saying much of anything. She's just like, we got to get him help. Veronica's like, drugs. Veronica is rude. So all of a sudden they wheel like Wyatt into like a waiting room of some sort where no one can go in there. And then so the lady tells Catherine, like, you're not helping the situation. And Catherine is like, girl, who are you? Like, are you just some, like, little thought that he hooked up with and you did drugs with him? Who are you? So, of course, she's, like, accusing everyone because that's typical of Wyatt behavior. And so then she says, ma'am, I'm Anna. And Jeffrey is like, this is Anna. And then she's like, girl, I am well aware of that, okay? Because this scene is dragging, okay? So next thing you know, she says, I'm Anna. I'm his rehab, specialist. And she's like, rehab? So she's like, yes. I'm going to let you know that Wyatt is going to be okay. You're his mother. Wyatt is going to be okay. We're going to work everything out. I am an in-home specialist, but he really wasn't doing well and he wasn't taking the medicine. Like, the medicine didn't take that typically works at home. So we needed to get him to the hospital because they have the equipment that he needs to get in a good condition, and he will get in good condition. So she's like, wow, well, can I see him? Can I talk to him? And the lady is like, no, I'm sorry, you are in agitation. Well, we need to get him in good health first, and then you can see him. And she's like, excuse me, I am his mother. So, of course, Jeffrey used to work, like, with Wyatt before, like, when the season first started, not the season, but the series started, trying to get Wyatt help. And Jeffrey knows how this works. He's like, no, you're in agitation for him. You cause another level of stress for him, maybe because you show your disappointments or you're always worried. Whatever the case, you are like a trigger for him. So he doesn't need to see you right now. He just needs to get well right now. And once he's in a good place, then you can see him. So she's like, you know what? Okay. And the lady's like, don't worry about it. He is going to be fine. We have an 80% success rate. He's going to be fine. So finally, Veronica butts in and she's like, he's not going to make it. You will fail with him. I'm telling you. She's like, what? My program, we had the best program in the country, and it didn't work for him on my program. So you're surely not going to be able to do it. He's a lost cause. So Catherine looks at Veronica like, girl, I will kill you. You were talking about my child. And she's like, what you gonna do? What you gonna do, Catherine? I mean, we got witnesses. You can't pull the same shenanigans you pulled the last time. So try something. So, of course, this is why Veronica is talking all big and bad. So Jeffrey lets her know, look, Catherine, I will update you on his conditions, especially as he progresses, and I will be sure to call you. And so Catherine is like, thank you so much, Jeffrey. At least you have the heart of your father. So, of course, she had to throw some subtle shade in before she walked away. Okay, so next thing you know, we go to another area of the hospital and we see Hannah and Benny. So Benny, he's struggling trying to figure out how he's going to support his mother. So he asks her, like, can I get you anything? And she's like, what did she says? She said, what I want, you can't give me, which we all know she wants her grandson back. And then so at this point, she's like flipping out. She's getting really emotional because, when something like bad happens, traumatic, emotional, the longer you sit there, like with your thoughts, it just gets deeper and deeper and deeper. And like it becomes overwhelming at some point. So Hannah is like, I don't know how I'm going to bury him. Why would this happen to him? He is just a baby. I don't know how I'm going to get him a casket. And Mitch is like, don't worry. I will make sure I get you the money. And so next thing you know, Catherine walks up to Hannah. And so at this point, Benny is relieved because he's like, I'm so glad you're here. I've never been so happy to see you. I'm trying to support her. I don't know how to support her. So then Catherine asks her, like, how are you holding up? And then Hannah's like, I'm not. Catherine says, I understand. And then Hannah basically starts venting. She feels like she's in a safe place with her friend. And she's like, this is just wrong. Like, this had nothing to do with him. Like, he's just a baby. And he had to get caught up in this crossfire. All of this happened for what? For what? For nothing. Like, he is a baby. He doesn't deserve this. So then, Catherine is like, I can relate to you. I totally can. You lost your grandson. I lost my daughter. People are not going to understand you because there's a lot of things that is not going to be able to console that type of pain. Trust me, I understand you. I can't tell you it's going to be okay today or tomorrow. The pain is going to go away soon. It's not, to be honest. And people don't know what to say, so they're going to say crazy things. They're going to say, God loved her more, and, I guess it was her time. So, of course, when someone's grieving, especially when it's their kid, in their mind, like, nobody loves their kid as much as they do. Like, they're not thinking straight. They're not thinking logically at this point. They're not thinking spiritually at all, because they are in a moment, like, a place of like shock, like numbness. And that's basically what Hannah was describing. Like, I don't feel anything. I don't know what to feel. I can't pray. I can't do anything. Like, I am just like, whoa, I can't believe this has happened. So Catherine is right there with her. And she's like, you know what? People are going to try to say things to comfort you. None of it's going to work, except because none of it worked for me, except I had a friend. And of course, this friend she's referring to is Hannah, who told me that I need to pray. Okay? And this is how you're going to get through it. And you're going to seek God for comfort. And Hannah is like, I don't feel anything. Like, what you don't understand is that I have a strong, like, faith background. Like, I feel like I've always kept the faith in situations, and I don't understand why this has happened. Like, I need some type of answer. Like, God, like, why? Why? And of course, this is a question that, like, most people ask when, like, bad things happen, because they're like, why would God allow something bad like this to happen to me? Like, their emotions are just consuming them at this point, and they're not able to digest it. So she's like, all my life I've been like so centered in my faith, but my life has been a series of me going from nothing to nothing, and I tried my best to do my best, and yet it's still not good enough. I don't understand what am I doing wrong? What did I do to deserve this? I can't believe this. He's gone, he's dead. And at this point, like, I can't even talk this part out, because at this point, she is, like, getting louder and louder. Benny's trying to calm her down, like, Mom. And Catherine is like, no, just let her go. Let her be. Like, she has to get it out. She has to release. And Hannah's like, he's dead. He is dead. And, like, in a sense, she's saying it, like, in unbelief. But it's like, I got to say it because I can't believe it. But, like, I know that it's true, and I cannot believe he is dead. Like, he's not coming back. Like, I want my baby. Like, I'm here living and breathing, and he is an innocent kid laying on a cold metal bed or stretcher right now because he is lifeless. Like, I don't understand this. And, like, she did so good on this. Like, I'm telling you, I give actors and actresses their props on these shows. Like, when they do, like, very, like, great dramatic parts. I know, like, anybody watch Scandal, Joe Morton, I love him. He gives me all the emotion that I need. Now, Hannah, I don't know if she was quite on his level, but as far as, like, her tears and channeling whatever pain she had inside, like, I'm watching this show, like, I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. But I wanted to cry. Like, it was so sad. And so I could only imagine someone, like, losing their grandson. So Benny, he hugs her. He's trying to calm her down. And, at this point, like, Catherine is still telling him, like, just let her be. Just let her let it out. So he doesn't know what to do. So he steps back and he's just watching. Okay, so now it goes from the emotions back to the foolishness. So we see Oscar sitting in Candace's room. And when she walks into her room, she's like, how in the world you get in here? Well, duh. He, like, paid for the room for you. So he's like, so you're wanted, huh? And she's like, yep, He's like, wow. Well, anyways, back to business. I'm going to need whatever recording that you recorded last night, because you threw away my recording devices. And we need to, really, like, trap little Obama here. So she's like, I don't have any recordings. He's like, I know you do. Or you need to do it again. You need to sleep with him again, because I know this man is not squeaky clean, okay? He was a job of mine for me to, like, throw him under the bus to make sure he doesn't win the presidency a while back. But I haven't been able to get to him. I can't find any dirt on him. He's squeaky clean. You have gotten the closest to him. So I really need your help, okay? Great value Obama cannot win this time around. So she's like, why? Like, what difference does it make to you? And he's like, look, I want to work with you. I want to be your partner. She's like, you want to be my pimp? He's like, no, I want to be your partner, okay? Because you like yearn for money. Money is nothing, okay? What you need is power. Like, power is going to overrule money any day. And if you work with me, with him, I can make sure that in 8 years you will be the first lady. And she's like, 8 years? Why would that be 8 years? And then he's like, because my client, their candidate needs to win for the presidency. And she's like, little Obama's already going to win anyway. He's like, no, we need to make sure my client's candidate wins so that we can move forward. And then I will make sure that you guys get into the White House after that. Candace is like, I'm not buying it. Okay, so next thing you know, we go back to the hospital. The doctor has come out to update Queen Veronica on Melissa. Veronica is not bothered by Melissa. She's like, is the baby going to be okay? And the doctor is like, well, Melissa's going to be good and the baby's going to be good. And she's like, oh, okay, well, great. Like, and the doctor's like, well, she lost a lot of blood, but you know, we're getting her back to a good condition. And he's like, Veronica's like, okay, does that affect the baby? And he said, no, but Melissa's good. Would you like to see her? She's like, no, but the baby's fine, right? He's like, yes, but I want to make sure that she's in a good mental state. We have to make sure that this doesn't happen again. She was like, oh, trust me, it won't happen. Not after I have a talk with her. It will not happen, okay? And then he's like, look, do you want to see her? Because it could really help to see a friendly face. And she was like, no, that's exactly why I don't want to see her. So no. So I think the doctor is sensing like this like little craziness is going on with Veronica. Like, why would you not be concerned? And this girl just tried to kill herself. And you've been waiting in the waiting room. Why wouldn't you want to go see her? So Jeffrey says that he's going to stay and see her. And Veronica is like, you just trying to go see Wyatt. And he was like, yeah, I'm going to see Melissa and Wyatt. So deal with it. Okay, so next thing you know, Mama Rose calls up Jim to meet with her. And they meet at a restaurant. Mama Rose is pissed off to the highest level of festivity, okay? And the first thing she says is, who is War? So Jim is like, oh, he's just some wannabe thug from the street, you know. He was in jail at the same time as me. Candace blackmailed me. She had him kidnap me. And she lied to him about the amount of money she got. And now he is trying to get revenge with her. So yes, he was actually trying to kill her. He wasn't trying to shoot at your grandson. And then she's like, but he did shoot at him. And I'm mad, and people need to know that the Malones are not to be messed with, okay? I need to send a clear message. And he's like, whoa. Not right now, okay? I have too much legal stuff going on. My name could be attached to your name. I just don't have time for you to be getting caught up. Not right now. And she's like, I don't care. I have to send a clear message, okay? So I'm going after this kid. And he's like, please don't do that. Mama Rose, let me talk to him. So he calls War, and War is like, yeah, what's up? And he's like, this is Jim. Okay, you've shot at the wrong person. You've shot at Mitchell Malone, who's connected to the rest of the Malones. Please, you don't want to do this. Can you just like let it go? And then he's like, no, I'm not letting nothing go. Okay, I'm getting Candace, and it is what it is. He hangs up in his face. So War doesn't want to cooperate. So at this point, Mama Rose was like, bam, confirmation. I told you I'm gonna find him, and when I do, it's on and popping. Okay, so she was like, give me his number. So they take Jim's phone, and they're gonna trace the number that he just called for War, and they're gonna go kill him. Which, please kill him. But anyways, but one thing to point out, when War picked up the phone, he was like, do you know who you shot at? And that's what Jim said. And War was like, I didn't know that kid was in there, okay? He shouldn't have been in there, okay? I heard he died. And then he's like, what are you talking about? She's like, Candace's son. And then Jim is like, oh gosh, that's crazy. So everybody is finding out about Candace's son before her. So I'm curious to know, like, who is going to actually tell Candace what has happened to her son. Okay, anyway, so the ending scene is when Hannah, Benny, Catherine, and Mitch are walking out of the hospital. The detectives show up. Also, like, Jeffrey's lover cop shows up with him. They want to ask Hannah some questions. Catherine is like, no questions. She's already been through an emotional day. They're like, look, we just have one question to ask her. Hannah is like, his name is Warwick Mincy. What's his name? Warwick Mincy Lewis. This is what happened. He came to the hotel. He was looking for my daughter. So he shot up the whole place and he killed my grandson. That's what happened. And then so the detective was like, why was he looking for your daughter? And then Hannah was like, because they're both evil. So they're like, okay, there's enough of that, Mom. You're emotional. Let's just walk. Okay, so next thing you know, the detective asked Benny and Mitch if, like, they can ask them questions. So, personally, I would have been like, no, okay, this is emotional night. But, of course, we always know Benny's always in his feelings. So, he's like, look, dude, what you got to ask me? Because my nephew just died, okay? I don't have time for questions. Go ahead. Ask whatever you want. Benny is like a hothead. And if you would have just taken this moment to be like, look, can I speak with you tomorrow? I need to support my mother. We've had an emotional night. I will talk to you then. Instead, he's a hothead. So it prompts them to ask him more questions. So they're basically like, okay, I know you're Candace's brother. We know that somebody else helped her kill Quincy and bury him in the backyard. You kind of fit the description. Your sister is wanted for arrest. He's like, I didn't do it. So he's like, so give me your sister's number. And Benny is like, I'm not giving you my sister's number. Like, I don't know where she was at when the shooting happened. I don't know where she's at now. And I'm definitely not helping you pin her. So the detective was like, okay, you don't want to cooperate. You want to get loud. You want to get crazy. You are under arrest for the murder of Quincy Maxwell. And I'm like, dang, like, why? Like, why would you do this on the night that his nephew has died? But the police don't care, okay? I don't even think they have enough, like, probable cause to arrest him. But we shall see. Anywho, as always, like, comment, and subscribe. Check me out at mrsblogaholic.com. Bye.